Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing on the channel at the moment, how about giving this video a like and maybe subscribing to the channel to help us grow and perhaps even check out our Patreon. This video is sponsored by our friends over at Top Don, who have sent me a battery pack. For those of you who saw the recent video of 9 things you should do before starting a collection of vehicles, one of the things I mentioned that you should have is a jump pack, and the fine people have sent me one of those, but more on that in a bit. As you may have noticed, I'm stood in the shed, and that must mean that it's time for a long overdue episode of What's Broken Now. Well, first things first. You might notice that there is a space where there is normally a big red thing, and that's because it is no longer here. Don't panic, I've not sold it, it's just gone out for its annual MOT exam, which is always a time that fills me with utter dread.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love driving it, and being back in it out on the road just makes me smile. It's such a smile factory machine. I love having it, I love being out on the roads, and it's always such a privilege to be out on the roads in the old girl. It just makes me happy. Terrified, full of anxiety, but happy. So this is one of the few runs out the shed it's actually had this year, and that's because it's MOT time. So we're off to my local testing centre, who will take a fire engine for its exam. And we're hoping that, considering I've done basically nothing since last year, when I say basically nothing, I think I've been out 5 times in it since its last exam. We missed the Ipswich Felixstowe Road run. We went and we're on an honorary bus. It's been to the Midi twice. And then I took it out a couple of times just for a trundle round. That's about it. It's genuinely about it. So it's not done much at all. So hopefully it won't have got any worse. It's been kept dry. But as you can imagine, it's still a scary thing. And at £250 a pop for its MOT, before we fix anything that's wrong with it, it's also quite the financial burden. But here we go. And very much, I hope that she'll be okay. But before we get onto that depressing stuff, I'm just going to enjoy a trip out and just enjoy driving it. So I've driven lots of big machines now. Buses, trucks, used to drive lorries for a living. And this remains, without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite to drive. Absolutely, hands down. And I'm not just biased, it's just such a nice truck. Power steering is beautiful, I can still feel the road, but it's no issues to steer it. The ride is not terrible, a bit bumpy on the old springs, but not terrible. And you put your foot down, it just trundles away. Jupes, you are setting a worrying precedent for actually getting where I need you to get.
So, the machine got here, which is rather unusual for Jupes, which probably means that it'll either fail the MOT or it will die on the way home, because no trip without it can be without incident. But for now, it's here and safe, and tomorrow it will go in for its MOT, which means for you guys, you have to wait till next month to find out what happens to that. And hopefully it will be better than last time I bought it, where I had a month and a half to wait for new tyres to turn up. So hopefully this will just be a day rather than a few months. I always feel sad leaving her behind. It's like a parent dropping their kid off at school. You're walking away leaving her, and she's going to be scared and alone outside on her own. Oh, my poor baby. Hopefully for the next episode I'll be able to report that it has just flown through its MOT. But things never go that smoothly, do they? On to things that work though. Humpty has once again been earning its keep with its new trailer modification. So I've had an idea of how to increase the load for Humpty. What we do is we take one of these, we put like that,
Voila.
Yeah, that's all I really have for Humpty. The thing just happily trundles away. The steering is getting gradually worse. You're having to turn it more and more. And I think one day I'm just going to turn the wheel and it's going to go crunch, and that will be the end of that. So moving on to some of the projects that you saw episodes ago, and starting off with the Lotus. You join us at an exciting moment of the Lotus lift. We have just managed to break this chassis free from the frames. Now, the blue one, we just lifted and it kind of came loose. This one has, well, it's been not too keen to lift. It has rather protested, to the point that we had to end up putting some jacks on it and gently lift the thing up, going, there must be a bolt still attached somewhere because we can't lift it. But nope, it has now come free, which gives us a glimpse into this. And I love this, the way the body has been molded to sit on top of the chassis. I think it's super, super cool. So from this, we now need to start lifting it a bit more, get it just higher than the chassis. We can rest it on that. And then we build our contraption again so we can roll this out from underneath, which is great. I mean, that's definitely off. That's good. That's really good.
The plan was pretty simple. Put jacks underneath the shell and use them to slowly raise it away from the chassis, and then chock it, reposition the jacks, and try again. After we'd lifted the back though, I had an idea.
Okay,
I wonder, are you clear?
I am.
Cool. I can get it to there. I think I can lift this enough for you to get that big board in between.
The what, sorry? Yeah.
Right, so if you get your big board. Hello. Hello, Earth that we've not disconnected.
Oh.
Oh God, don't lean on it, Lawrie.
Do you want me to lean on the back?
No, I just... I need to work out what coupling... what's the thing I last used, what size was that?
I don't know.
Let's try you. That's right. It is indeed a 13. Before you start lifting your project, you should make sure that all possible things, all wires, are in fact disconnected. Oh, get out of my way, you stupid pipe. There we go. It's a lot easier lifting the blue one that didn't have any wires at all on it. Right. Lift that, disconnect that, disconnect that, disconnect that. Right, that is free. Ooh. Right, I think if I lift this, you should be able to get that board through now. You ready?
You get a bit higher?
Yep. Right, I'm going for the front splitter, but yep. Yep. Go on, get it in there.
Try it.
If you're in. Right, he's on there, so.
It's on there as such. Is it at the other side?
Nope. Because what you're doing is currently you're hitting my piece of wood that's support. Oh no, actually, to be fair, if you can wiggle out a bit more, I do that and wiggle. Brilliant.
With the board in and the shell resting on that, we could start jacking up the rear of the car. The problem was that because there's a lot of the front of the car missing, the pivot point is a lot nearer the rear, which resulted in, well, this happening.
What I think we can do now, so I think it's actually gone high enough that I might be able to pick it up this end.
You know when you watch something back and you think you're an idiot? That's one of these moments. Of course you're not going to pick it up, you muppet.
Right, can you get anything in the back end to jack this, to prop this? Right. Yes or no?
No.
No? No?
No.
Okay, why not?
Because you're not lifting it anywhere near high enough.
Okay, so we'll build up the front. And we'll keep this in this position.
The first stage was to make a small structure to place the axle stands on to support the front of the car as we jacked it up from the rear. And as we got those to their maximum extension, we had to make another small structure that we could slowly lower the car onto in order to be able to lift the jacks and then, once again, raise the car up. And once we'd got the jacks to max extension, we could once again put a beam in to hold it there.
About there.
Yep.
Got enough distance your side?
Yeah.
Right, what I suggest now is you get ready and I'll tip the front forward and we'll rejack.
Letting the jacks down first.
No,
Right.
leave them there because that'll help support this movement.
Okay.
We'll lift it up and then both of these will go to full extension, or as much as you can on this beam here. And I'll tip the front forward and we'll lift that up, and then what we've got to do is lift the back up again.
Okay.
Make sense? So if we do that, we'll put it on those and then one more at the back and we should be clear. If I go, yeah, like this.
Okay. I've done a bit of extension on that side.
Because I'd been able to pivot the shell so much, Loz had to run around and very quickly rebuild the supports of the beam to get them even higher. And I don't know if you've ever stood around holding the front end of a Lotus, but despite the fact it's fiberglass, it gets heavy very quickly.
Do you want to let it down?
Happy?
So, I think that'll do.
It needs to come up a tiny bit more, so maybe. I think a tiny bit more to get this bit out, but if you think it will go, I mean, worst case scenario, probably lift it to get it out. But I think that will. This does feel decidedly dodgy.
This was going to be the final bit of jacking, getting the rear of the car high enough to be able to slide the chassis out from underneath.
Are you clear?
Yep.
Right. Very carefully, gently.
Do you want help pushing, or do you want me to just sit here and keep an eye? Clear. Stop.
It's okay. This front splitter.
Okay.
I need you just to push it.
Ready?
Just go to the back and push the car, yeah?
Yep.
Push. And again.
And with deceptively little effort, the chassis was out.
And there we have it. Both both Loti are now flying independently away from their respective chassis. And this one gave us a few more issues. We were thinking the back end of it weighs significantly more. And then we realised that we're actually just doing 2 people today rather than 3. And also, this one is missing a significant amount on its front end compared to this one. For instance, if I do this on this one, you go, oh, that's sketchy. If I do this on this one, it's a lot more sketchy. This one is a, ooh. So, they are both up. And it's been quite a challenge to get that. But it also really, at this point, when they're side by side, really reiterates what a terrible, terrible thing was done to this, to chop out the whole front end. And terrible, absolutely terrible. So next up, I need to tidy up the workshop, because we are not the tidiest people here at LMM. Like, we're not good at keeping tidy, but right now, the shed looks like a bomb's hit it.
And frankly, that is one of the most sketchy things I have ever done, and frankly was stupid. So do not repeat any of that. It was daft. It really was daft, and we're not proud of it. But I have now successfully managed to get the body off from the frames, and we're ready to persevere with the project. Speaking of projects, everybody's favourite little tractor, Jeb, are having installed a brand new pepper pot that people tell me might make some difference. Lots of people say it won't, but who knows at this point. So I'm going to go put a new battery on it, which happens to be flat, so I can test out this jump pack that Top Don have sent me. So here we are back in the tent with its new temporary roof. And this is the portable jump pack from Top Don that comes in this really smart little case. We unzip that, open that up like that, and I have my leads here, and on this side, this bit here. Now I'm quite familiar with the shape of this. It's quite chunky. It's got a couple of little features on it. There's various things I can plug it, including output for USB, so I can charge my phone, which is useful because it's dying. I've got this, which is the plug for these chunky things here, and they go in one way around. There's a little flat edge like so, and that will give me my charge. There's also on this side here other outputs, so that's lesser for USB, and the charging port for power in. And there is the torch on the front. Pushing the power button tells me how much percentage battery I have. So then it's just a matter of clipping that one onto the positive terminal, this one onto the negative terminal, like so, and then pressing the boost button. So that will give it a boost, like that. And like that, I'll set the throttle, put the glow on, and the little light here, the pepper pot glows red hot straight away now, so we'll knock that off and... Jesus wept, that worked. That's... More glow. Do you know what? I think that actually worked. Right. Boost on. Glow, glow, glow. Bit more throttle. That's glowing right hot. And... Well, that's made an amazing difference, hasn't it? It just fired up. Well, it worked, and that's a huge step forward. Obviously helped by the wonderful jump pack from the guys. That's an absolutely fantastic piece of equipment, and it will be so useful to us inside the shed for when things just haven't started and don't work. So thank you so much to them, and if you want one, links in the video description to go get your own. And that basically brings us to the end of this episode of What's Broken Now. I hope you've enjoyed watching this one. If you have, how about giving this video a like and maybe selecting one of these two coming up on the screen now as other videos that you might enjoy. And with that, well, I guess I better fix something. Ta-ra.